Dear friends, this is Abdul Basit and you're watching Kaleidoscope. The last week has been quite active for those world leaders who were either in Washington DC or in New York to attend the UNGA session. Prime Minister Modi of India was also in the US. He was also in Washington DC for the first in-person Quad summit. Before the summit, he also had a bilateral on the 24th of September with President Joe Biden at the White House. And after their meeting, a joint statement was issued. The joint statement itself is very interesting because it almost covers everything from COVID-19 to climate change and many other things. But I thought to share my views with you on one point which was there in the joint statement, and that is about the conclusion of the Mumbai attack trial, which is currently underway in Pakistan. It is somewhat disturbing that the trial which began more than 10 years ago has still not been concluded. My theory has always been that it is India which has been using dilatory tactics in order to ensure that this trial does not conclude or come to its logical conclusion, because it serves India's purpose. It is a good talking point for India to keep hammering Pakistan on the issue of terrorism. So it would try its level best to ensure that it doesn't come to an end, the trial, in the foreseeable future. I will give you two examples and that would explain what I am trying to say. First, we all know that in this attack on the 26th of November 2008, 166 people were killed, including 4 Americans. That's why there is you find US interest in the trial. Immediately after the trial, because the crime scene was in India and the accused were in Pakistan, and now trial is taking place in Pakistan. So we hoped and expected that India would go all out to cooperate with Pakistan so that all those accused should be brought to justice. And Pakistan and India refused to send witnesses or those who were involved in counter operation against the 10 terrorists. India refused to allow them to travel to Pakistan and appear before the Pakistani court. So then Pakistan then formed a judicial committee in order to visit India and then get their testimonies and depositions and then come back and return and present those testimonies to the court. And interestingly, there were 10 terrorists, and the lone survivor of those 10 terrorists was Ajmal Qassab. And India tried him there in India for the crimes which he committed. And very interestingly, the Pakistan Judicial Committee was never allowed to meet Ajmal Qassab or interview him or cross-examine him, because India did not even allow Pakistan Committee to even cross-examine other witnesses or officials who were involved in counter operation. They were given the questions and the Pakistan Committee just received their answers. That's it. Cross-examination was not allowed by the Indian government. Be that as it may, Ajmal Qassab was, was executed, if I remember correctly, on 21st of November 2012 in Pune. And that was done definitely in haste, so that, the government of Pakistan does not get a chance to see him or cross-examine him. Secondly, I also remember that how India has been using different tactics to cause delay. For example, I remember the then Pakistan Foreign Secretary wrote a letter to his Indian counterpart in September 2015, because the court wanted 6 more Indian nationals to be to have their depositions. They needed their testimonies as well. So Pakistan approached the Indian government to facilitate their travel to Pakistan, which the Indian government denied. And then we also wanted the equipment as evidence, which was used by the terrorists, alleged terrorists. And India, we wrote that letter in 2015, and now we are in 2021. And we do not see any progress. There is simply no cooperation from the Indian side. And we are still struggling as to how to go about it. And this is exactly the point which I am trying to make, that it is India which is trying to delay the whole trial, whereas Pakistan is very keen to end this trial as quickly as possible, because it serves no purpose for Pakistan to keep delaying, because all those accused in the trial are already behind bars, and we are unnecessarily getting bad projection as well, bad publicity on this. So it doesn't serve Pakistan interest to keep delaying it. On the other hand, it serves India's interest to keep delaying the trial, so that US also keeps mentioning the trial, and India too. And then, as I said earlier, it's a good talking point for India to keep, in their viewpoint, embarrassing Pakistan on terrorism and cross-border terrorism, because that is in line with their overall narrative, and they can show to the world that Pakistan is not serious in bringing those who were accused in the Mumbai attack trial to justice. And this is not only about the Mumbai attack trial. Frankly speaking, on other, and from our viewpoint, false flag operations, you take, for example, Uri. Pakistan immediately offered international investigations into the Uri attack, because India has always been very quick, without carrying out their investigations, very quick to accuse Pakistan for everything in India. And there is also one joint terrorism mechanism, counter-terrorism mechanism, which is in place, bilateral mechanism, but India never allowed that mechanism to function, and it is now, you can say, it is there, but it is not being used. So India is not, in my view, interested in resolving these issues. And then Pakistan too, we too have serious concerns when it comes to terrorism, cross-border terrorism, and we know how India has been using Afghanistan to carry out terror activities, and thousands of people have been died, and we all know that how India funded the National Directorate of Security during the last 20 years in Afghanistan. So these things are beyond a shade of doubt, and I would request the US side and other Western countries that before agreeing, they should see the facts on the ground rather than agreeing with India and supporting its narrative. Pakistan is indeed very serious when it comes to issues of terrorism, because it is hurting Pakistan itself. So there is no reason for Pakistan to be seen as prevaricating or procrastinating on issues related to terrorism. So this is, I thought, to share with you, especially on the Mumbai attack trial. And I know that India will continue using dilatory tactics when it comes to Mumbai attack trial, because it simply does not want this trial to conclude. Thank you very much.